gorillas, pero medyo pag gorilla ang mag-apply sa'yo, ma-issuehan ng SIM card, medyo dapat kahit low-tech ka. Anyway, good sponsor.
Yeah, but some of the technologies, Mr. President,
Yeah,
has
po.
to share with the Her Honor. Selfie capture, facial liveliness check. I think kailangan mo na gumalaw ngayon, Mr. President, to demonstrate that you're a live person. Disabled stock upload photo, facial recognition and matching, OCR and data matching. Ito po, nasa screen, Mr. President. We flashed it on the screen. And other technologies that is now a mandate, or these technologies are mandated to the telcos to use, Mr. President.
Salamat, good sponsor. And speaking of technology, nakaka-import ba ng mga devices na nag-spoof sa cell sites? At kung nagagawa yun, may import controls ba tayo kaugnay nito? Good sponsor.
Bawal yun, Mr. President. The DICT strictly prohibits importation of those type of devices, especially yung mga text blast or other form of telecommunication devices, Mr. President. So bawal yun, but admittedly, some people smuggle it to our country. In fact, during the height of POGOs, I remember the PNP or NBI apprehended an individual possessing really sophisticated texting equipment or even hacking equipment, Mr. President. And if you remember, Senator Risa, when we inspected one of the POGO sites, we saw also a lot of text blasting machines,
Right.
a lot of machines with thousands of SIM cards plugged in it. So those are the machines that are being smuggled here in our country. But those are illegal. You cannot use that here in our country.
Salamat, good sponsor. Actually, na-anticipate nyo na po yung huling follow-up question ko na how are they able in this way to abuse our ICT system na nag-necessitate tuloy ng ganitong karaming at siguro madadagdagan pang mga gawain ng CICC laban sa ganitong panloloko. So aside from the use of these equipment and technologies, are there other ways that have been identified that these people, these entities have been able to abuse our ICT systems? Good sponsor.
Well, Mr. President, I think we are all aware of the power of artificial intelligence. With that also comes with deep fakes, Mr. President, and we've seen that all over the internet lately. And that's also a cause of concern, especially with our elections coming up just around the corner, Mr. President. So the DICT is monitoring this very carefully, and they are also proactively coming up with some information campaign and also mechanisms to help detect this type of technology being abused.
Maraming salamat, good sponsor. Naalala ko tuloy nung medyo bago pa ang usaping AI, at least dito sa bansa natin, we would hear news from AI practitioners and enthusiasts themselves in other countries na sila mismo nananawagan sa mga big industry players na na-excite sa prospects ng commercialization ng AI na mag-suspend muna ng mga big experiments nila until the safeguards and the protocols could be put in place. So I'm glad na these also seem to be at the back of the minds or top of mind of the ICT sa iba't ibang konteksto, yung national security nga natin, yung kagustuhan natin na i-bridge yung digital divide para din sa sustainable development. At yun, yung mga importanteng political processes that regularly come up and we engage in, kasama na yung mga eleksyon. So maraming salamat po, good sponsor, at sa department, sa secretary, sa DICT family. Salamat po, Mr. President. At wag na hindi magandang umaga muli. Para hindi na natin paabutin sa magandang tanghali.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Mr. President, next to interpret is our very, very hardworking Minority Leader, Senator Coco Pimentel. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
Our Minority Leader, Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel, is recognized. Thank you, Mr. President. Welcome to the DICT family and thank you to our sponsor. Gusto ko rin, ako rin yung babati sa inyo ng magandang tanghali. Okay? Gusto ko ako yung gagawa
Basta magpakain ka, Mr. President.
Of course, no problem.
Breakfast and lunch.
No problem, Mr. President. Pero actually, dahil ito yung ahensya na merong national master, medyo we will limit our meron kayong national master sa chess, Secretary. Baka hindi mo alam yun na meron kayong magaling na player sa chess dyan. Kaya ililimit natin yung ating interpellation dahil napakahusay maglaro ng chess yan.
Chess na lang raw kayo, Mr. President.
Correct. Secretary, ganito. We are just worried that some of your flagship programs and projects might turn into money pits. Kasi some of them are confusing to this representation. It might be clear to you, but confusing to me. But siguro, maybe you can give us a short input this morning and then ano na lang siguro more detailed inputs in writing. So for example, meron kang sa DICT infrastructure flagship programs ninyo, meron kayong Philippine Digital Infrastructure Project na ang kanyang short objective is construction of the national broadband network. And it will cost us 16.1 billion pesos. But this is foreign assisted. And then you have a national broadband plan. Ang kanya namang objective is the construction of a nationwide broadband backbone. GAA funded. 35 billion pesos. Ano yun? I mean, hindi ba overlapping na po yun? I mean, can we be helped in understanding these two projects and then pag isuma total po na, kasi yung foreign assisted, utang din naman yan eh. Babayaran din naman natin yun eh. It's just a deferred GAA funded actually kung tutusin ha. Kung magtapatan tayo rito ganito sa umaga, a foreign assisted project is just a deferred GAA funded project actually. So isuma total natin yan eh, 50 billion pesos. What would be the short or brief information coming from the department?
But Mr. President, I'll explain first the project, Mr. President. The vision here is to come up with a national fiber optic backbone, Mr. President. And this backbone will be available to local government units, to national government agencies. In fact, they already have a MOA with the province of Quirino to tap into this national fiber optic backbone, Mr. President. And the goal of this is to, number one, lower down cost because it will be built by government, to make it affordable to our constituents and to our local government units. And number two, to reach those areas that are deemed uneconomical or not commercially viable to private operators, Mr. President. So that's why the government embarked on building this national fiber optic backbone. Now, there are three phases, Mr. President. Phase one, which is Northern Luzon, will be funded by government, the GAA. And phase two and phase three, which is Southern Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, will be funded by loans, Mr. President. And the reason why the department took the loan route is because if they wait for the GAA allocation, it will take time to build the national fiber optic backbone. So the strategy that they employed is both the GAA and both the loan, so that once the project will be completed, it will meet together, Mr. President, the loan portion and also the GAA portion. So that's the strategy that they employed.
Sige po. And the budget, the 2025 budget already contains the GAA funded phase. And then the foreign assisted is found in the unprogrammed or in the program?
President, the GAA portion is found in our 2025 budget to a tune of 1.5 billion pesos. The loan part, Mr. President, is awaiting for the signature of the DOF so that it can be implemented, Mr. President.
So, what would be now the legal basis? Nasa unprogrammed siya?
Wala pa, Mr. President. Wala pa siyang
Sige.
wala pa
Anyway.
siya sa unprogram, Mr. President, because it's waiting for the signature of the DOF. Mr. President, let me just
So-
be corrected. The House reduced the GAA allocation to 1 billion pesos for 2025, Mr. President.
Well, siguro we need a rethink of this plan kasi given your cost estimate and then the rate we are funding it, I mean, 20 years, 25 years.
Correct,
It's a
Mr. President.
25-year plan and then by that time, baka hindi na yung fiber optic sasabihin nyo na, huwag na natin ituloy kasi obsolete technology na.
Correct, Mr. President. That's also the thoughts of the department. That's why
That's why. Kaya,
Yep.
so, I mean,
That's why they also embarked on the loan to borrow, Mr. President, so that they can borrow immediately and build the backbone, Mr. President. But so far,
it's impossible, sir, kasi the GAA funded for part 35 billion at the rate we're funding it 1 billion. So we have a 35-year horizon for this part. So pag-isipan na lang po natin ito kasi at any rate, you're just building the fiber optic backbone. Your government is building it, but you're using foreign technology, I'm sure. That's not Philippine-made technology. We are just a consumer of foreign technology. You're just digging. Ayun na siguro, we just dig it.
Mr. President, but
Precisely, Mr. President.
this type of technology, Mr. President, is really important, Mr. President.
Yeah.
We don't have that available in our country. But I was also advised that the loan portion is about 16 billion, Mr. President, so that immediately we can borrow 16 billion and implement the phase 2, phase 3
Sige.
portion, Mr. President. Tama kayo. If we wait for the GAA, it will take so long. No?
Ano ba to? Ang model natin yung Malaysia? Di ba parang nag-fiber optic si Malaysia noon pa, I think 10 years ago. Yun ba yun?
Yes, Mr. President, similar to Malaysia and Australia, Mr. President.
Sige po, one thing which worries this representation again is our flagship project, National Government Data Center. Our cost is 100 billion pesos, Mr. President. So in our budget for 2025, magkano naman ang ating finand dito? Yung project nilang National Government Data Center,
500 million, Mr. President.
500 million. So kung 100 billion, so ilan yun? 2 years times 100, 200 years. Tama ba?
For the data,
Mr. National Master, tama ba?
for the data center, Mr. President.
Yes, sabi nyo, the cost is 100 billion pesos. We are budgeting it at a rate of 500 million per year. Tama ba? So, in 2 years' time, 1 billion, tas 100, so 200 year. It's a 200-year plan, Mr. President. Pwedeng in writing na lang, sir. But just convince this representation in writing. Baka mas maganda. Baka antok na tayong lahat ngayon Kaya baka antok na rin ako. Baka yung mathematics ko mali na rin.
Yes, Mr. President. Just to answer your question, Mr. President, and they'll submit it in writing. The original budget for the data center is 100 billion, Mr.
Yeah.
President. This administration, under the leadership of Secretary Uy, they find it very expensive, Mr. President, and unrealistic already,
Correct.
Mr. President. So they revised the cost, Mr. President. So that's not the cost anymore.
But how can you just do it like that? I mean to say, yung previous planner, yung paa nila wala sa lupa. Ganun lang, out of thin air, 100 billion, ganun lang. I mean, si National Master, pag tumango, ibig sabihin nun, tama, okay na po sa akin yun. Pag, sige po, anyway, Mr. Chairman, I will be happy with the written, ano na lang, a
Mr.
written
President,
response.
the new estimate for the data center is about 1 billion pesos, Mr. President.
1 billion pesos,
Correct. So not
not 100 billion.
per data center, per
Ah,
data
per-
center.
Yeah, how many do we intend to build? 100 din.
No, but Mr. President, they also plan to, if you look at the budget, there's also budgets for services, Mr. President. So they are also planning to pay for services of data centers, Mr. President. So we're not going
Sige,
to build, but also lease capacity
Si-
from data
Since
centers.
flagship program siya, that means you have a longer view eh. So just give, if it can just be given to this representation.
Senator Gatchalian, I think Senator
writing.
Pimentel will be content with
Yes,
an explanation in writing. You cannot debate with a math major on figures.
Yes, Mr. President, especially at 2 a.m., Mr.
Yeah,
but-
President. So-
No, as I've stated earlier, I will defer to the National Master, Mr. President. May abilidad dyan na hindi natin kaya, Mr. President. So at any rate, Mr. President, maraming issues dito, but we'll just send our questions to the Secretary. Yung ELGU project versus National Broadband Plan, ano na lang, paki-distinguish yung ano po ito. And then you have some COA findings which are disturbing to this, which I find to be disturbing. So please, ano na lang, the answer is how will you address the COA findings, lalo na yung mga non-delivery ng contract stipulation sa free Wi-Fi. I mean, bakit ba nila nakuha muna yung mga kontrata? Yun po yung mga tanong po natin. Free Wi-Fi, ano lang, hindi nila mabigay, Mr. President. Bakit nila nakuha ang kontrata? But at any rate, Mr. President, can I ask now the National Privacy Commission, meron kasi kaming debate, sir, sa, is the head of the National Privacy Commission? Yes. Meron tayong parang I've noticed a tug of war between the right of the citizen to know or to know some information or to access some documents, and then some government agencies using the Data Privacy Act as the ground to deny access to some documents. So, bigyan kita ng example, sir, para i-apply natin. Okay. Under the law, the constituents or the people, the citizens have the right to question the registration of a voter. May ang tawag dyan, the citizen or the constituent can file exclusion petition before the courts to exclude a voter who was registered. Di ba ang basic document doon would be the voter's registration application. Di ba? And then this representation attempted to get a copy of that voter's registration application from the COMELEC, which was denied on the ground of the Data Privacy Act. So, can you help us? Sige nga, being the objective third party, what is the proper application of the law that you are administering? The Data Privacy Act. Last na po.
Can I be more direct, Senator
Yes,
Pimentel?
Go ahead, sir.
The basic question, distinguished sponsor, is how can you file an exclusionary case questioning the registration supposedly of a voter if you cannot be given or not allowed to see the address of the voter? You redact it, citing the Data Privacy Act that essentially deprives him of a remedy provided for by law. Yes, distinguished
Sige,
sponsor.
can we get just the inputs from the implementer of the law?
Well, Mr. President, Section 13F of the Data Privacy Act provides that the processing of sensitive personal information is allowed when the processing is necessary for the protection of lawful rights and interests of national or legal persons in court proceedings or establishment, exercise or defense of legal claims, or when provided by government or public authority. From the wording of the Data Privacy Act of 2012, the NPC stresses that processing for the establishment of legal claims does not require an existing court proceedings. Thus, the interpretation of COMELEC of the DPA is erroneous.
Well, okay, thank you for that, professional opinion from the National Privacy Commission. Basta sir, ganito lang, I have noticed in dealings with government agencies na meron talagang tug of war. So please monitor the implementation of the Data Privacy Act because I have a feeling that it's being misapplied already, Mr. President, and the effect is a denial of access to information and access to documents. So, yun lang po ang gusto ko ipaabot sa National Privacy Commission. If you can, if such a feedback has reached your commission, please, in writing na lang, if you can respond to my concern. And then last, Mr. President, sa NTC, NTC, who's the new head? Ma'am, sabi ng staff ko, ano daw pre-registered SIM cards are being openly sold on the Facebook Marketplace. Umabot na po sa inyo yan? Information na yan?
Yes, Mr. President, I also flagged them
Ayan na lang. And
during the hearings and during the budget deliberations,
so
Mr.
to
President.
the entire, to the entire DICT family, what can we, is that illegal muna? Is that illegal?
That's illegal,
Yeah.
Mr. President. That's
So
illegal.
what can we do about it? Yun lang yung tanong. Kasi para makita ng taong bayan na ini-enforce din natin yung batas, the government is not that helpless, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I was advised and during the briefings that they have filed cases already in courts against those people who are selling pre-registered SIM cards, Mr. President.
Sige,
And they've managed to get a conviction against those persons selling pre-registered SIM cards, Mr.
be unrelenting kasi hanggang ngayon ata, as we speak, baka na meron pa rin
Yes,
sa
Mr. President.
Facebook Marketplace eh.
In fact, we have seen pre-registered SIM cards, pre-registered e-wallets as well, Mr. President.
E-wallet na, mga ganun.
So we've already advised DICT and NTC to be more aggressive in this illegal activities, Mr. President.
So, Mr. President, so I can avoid serving lunch, so I
May
better...
breakfast na lang, Mr.
I
Thank you.
better terminate my interpellation and then marami po kayong challenges, Mr. Secretary. So we're here to support you. Pero yun na nga, if some things need correcting, correct them as soon as possible. And then communicate to us para naintindihan namin saan na ba kayo at what stage na kayo kasi parang nabiblame namin kayo sa mga past na nababasa na namin about your plans. Yung pala, binabago na ninyo. But this is also reflective of how we plan in government, Mr. President. Na dapat we have to really get into shape as far as our planning is concerned. Planning affects budgeting. Ganun talaga eh. So anyway, that's my word of advice to the entire DICT family. So good luck to you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your patience.
Thank you, Senator Pimentel.
Mr. President, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano would just like to make a 30-second manifestation, Mr. President.
Senator
move that you be
Cayetano
recognized,
is recognized for his 30-second manifestation.
Good evening, everyone. Hindi ko isa-isahin para umabot sa 30 seconds. Susundan ko lang po si Senator Pimentel at lahat po ng senador na bumati sa inyo, sa inyong chairman, at dun po sa problema ng mga scams. I just like to ask the good secretary, baka you can take the lead sa cabinet and form a group, go to Singapore and Hong Kong, because these two states actually, well, SAR Hong Kong and then as a city state ang Singapore, they have an anti-scam center. And in one office, nandun na yung police, nandun na yung IT, nandun na yung bangko. So I brought this up sa police, I haven't brought it sa NBI, pero parang sanay pa rin tayo ng paisa-isang scam. But lahat ng scam na nabanggit dito at sa ibang hearings, iba't ibang klaseng scam, nandun na. In fact, for the last 2 years, ang na-recover ng Singapore government for those na na-scam is 600 plus million Singaporean dollars. And they only have, 5 million people. So 30 seconds na, but may I make that appeal? So sana next budget, next year, meron na tayong sariling anti-scam center na baka pwede niyong pangunahan, Secretary. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Cayetano. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, there being no other reservation for interpellation, I move that the budgets of the following: Department of Information and Communications Technology, Office of the Secretary, Cybercrime Investigation and Coordination Center, National Privacy Commission, and the National Telecommunications Commission be deemed submitted for the body's consideration. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Congratulations to the DICT family.
May I ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
Session is suspended. After the
to
brief,
make a manifestation, Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri. So moved, sir.
any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Before the chair recognizes our distinguished sponsor, time check is 2:07. Senator Poe is recognized for her opening statement on the budget of the DPWH. You may proceed, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the reminder of the time. Before proceeding, I would like to acknowledge and warmly welcome the DPWH family headed by Secretary Manny Bonoan. Mr. President, it is our duty to present the budget of the DPWH. Based on the Senate Committee report, DPWH's budget for fiscal year 2025 is 933 billion, 136 million, 196, composed of 932 billion, 34, 635 as new appropriations and 1 billion, 101, 561 as automatic appropriations. With that, this representation is now ready to accept short questions. No, questions.
Mr. President, Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri.
Majority Floor Leader.
Seeking the floor.
Yes, Senator Zubiri is recognized for his, I believe, manifestation.
Thank you very much, Mr.
You may
President.
proceed, sir.
I truly appreciate it. Time check po, 2:09 in the morning. Just to show the public that we have been working very hard. This is the last budget to be tackled. I just will not take too much time. I just want to manifest my thanks and appreciation to the Department of Public Works and Highways, to the Secretary, for all the projects that he has given to Mindanao. I must say, Mr. President, that now if you go around Mindanao, wala na pong 2-lane highway. Puro na po 4 lanes and 6-lane highways. Yung 2-lane po, papuntang barangay po sa amin yon. I just want to say that we're very, very proud of them and the work that they do. Alam mo, pag sa DPWH, mas mabilis pa sa police. Pinaplano pa lang, bid it out na. Kaya mabilis ang implementation. Joke lang yan po, Mr. President. Ang akin lang dyan is our full support. I mean, if they can implement the projects, if other government agencies can implement their projects as fast as they can do it, I think mawawala po yung backlog ng build more program ng ating Pangulo. As a matter of fact, I can just even say, sa airports nang namin, buti po, na they allowed tawag dito, yung sila po ang gagawa through a MOA with the DOTR para mas mabilis po ang trabaho. Sa totoo lang po, mabilis po sila magtrabaho. So with that, MOA, I'm giving you an idea, Senator Legarda, for your airport. MOA with the DPWH, sila na tatayo. So yun naman po, Mr. President. I want to thank them for their work and mabuhay po sila. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Zubiri. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, next to interpolate is Senator Nancy Binay. I move that she be recognized.
Senator Bina is recognized for her interjections. You may proceed, ma'am. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, and magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Mr. President, meron po bang updated budgetary cost estimate para sa works to complete for the new Senate building ang DPWH?
Mr. President, from what we have gathered, there's a 21.73 billion total cost. Phase 1 construction cost is 8.9 billion. Phase 2, the fit out, is 2.5 billion. And the third phase, which is to finish and complete it, is 10.33 billion for a total of 21.73 billion.
So, Mr. President, wala pong cost estimate ang DPWH na 31.6 billion for the new Senate building.
Mr. President, there's no estimate of that amount, amounting to, as mentioned by Senator Binay, 31 billion plus.
Okay.
Nasa 21.73 tayo ngayon.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Nancy Binay.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, next to interpolate is Senator Joel Villanueva. I move that he be recognized.
We recognize Senator Joel Villanueva.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader. It's 2:12 a.m. and that's why I will forgo some majority of the questions that I was supposed to ask this morning. Mr. President, before I start asking my questions, let me put into the records that I have been a perennial supporter of the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways. And if there's one individual who can lead the department, it would be Secretary Bonoan, and that's why I have full respect and trust to the capability and ability of the Secretary to lead this department. And with that, Mr. President, may I ask if our good sponsor would yield to some clarificatory questions from this representation? May I ask if our good sponsor would yield to some clarificatory questions, Mr.
Of
President?
course, for our hardworking, sometimes majority leader, sometimes presiding officer, sometimes moral support officer, and humor entertainer, Senator Joel.
Thank you, Mr. President, for those kind words, Mr. President. I'm being tempted not to ask questions anymore. But, Mr. President, distinguished colleague, let me just show you a slide, Mr. President, because we want to know the right figures. There was a time when Bagyong Christine, if I'm not mistaken, and some other typhoons hit the country. There were some influential people who made a statement that we don't know what we are talking about with regard to flood control programs of the government. In fact, Mr. President, there is an influential individual who said that there's no billion peso funding for flood control in Bicol. And I'm sure our good Senate President would attest to this. Mr. President, we have done our research and our information is definitely contrary to these claims. May we know, just for the record, Mr. President, I'm sorry we don't have a bigger caption here. There you go. Mr. President, may we ask the Department of Public Works and Highways to verify this claim? How many billions have been allocated to various flood control projects in 2023 and in 2024, Mr. President?
We only have for Region 5.
Yes, Mr. President, just talking about Region 5,
Okay.
Mr. President.
In 2023, there were 421 flood control projects, of which 353 projects were completed. The total that have been spent for the completed ones are is 23,597,079,000. And there are the ongoing projects. There is 5,886,500 ongoing projects for 2023. Now, for 2024, completed 47 projects, 2,982,942.
Yes, Mr. President, if
But-
I may, I know that the good sponsor is talking about the projects, completed projects.
But there's an
The good sponsor
ongoing,
is-
Mr.
Yes,
President.
what I'm asking, Mr. President, is because just a couple of weeks ago, some influential people, even some members of the other house, is saying that there's no billions of funds allocated for Bicol region. And so, Mr. President, just to set the record straight, and this is what we wanted to accomplish right now, let me show you, Mr. President, the 2023 budget based on the General Appropriations Act. If we can show the slide, please. In 2023, Mr. President, it was submitted that in Region 5, Mr. President, there is 29.463 billion pesos allocated for the entire region, Mr. President. And I'm looking at and showing in this August chamber the 2023 General Appropriations Act. Now, in 2024, Mr. President, we look at the budget for flood management program, major river basins and principal rivers, convergence and special support program. You have the CPAG, you have the BIP, and the total is amounting to 31.942 billion. I just wanted to find out, Mr. President, if these figures are accurate, Mr. President, based on GAA and the submission given to us by the Department of Public Works and Highways.
You are absolutely correct, Mr. President, for 2024 and for 2023.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's all I'm asking because I wanted to prove a point, Mr. President, that when we make a statement here in the Senate, we double check and we see to it that our figures are correct. And obviously, huge funds for flood control can lead to a false sense of security among our people, our kababayans. Kasi sa laki ng pondo, akala nila maliligtas sila dahil sapat ang proyekto na magpoprotekta sa kanila sa baha. Pero yun nga sa halip na pagtuunan natin ng pansin at kumuha tayo ng solusyon, ang nangyayari po dun sa ilang mga individual, nambabash at nagpapakalat ng false report. So malinaw po na tama po ang mga pondong ito, which means Region 5, the Bicol Region flood control projects for 2023 and 2024 is about 61.4 billion pesos. Now, Mr. President, that the DPWH has verified that there's indeed 61.42 billion allocated for 23 and 2024. May we discuss, Mr. President, the performance of these projects in the light of Typhoon Christine? Bakit po kaya ganun kalala itong pagbaha at ano po yung nakita natin? Because we wanted to find solutions. Ano po yung pwede nating ma-share dito sa bulwagang ito as legislators so we can adjust if we need to adjust and we find out how we could be of help, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mr. President, this is a general response to why the flood control project may not have been as successful as it was intended to be, due to the issues as right-of-way acquisition, coordination with local government units, and technical challenges. Also, there are ongoing construction projects. Many flood control projects take time to complete. The flood control systems are now designed for a 20 to 50-year flood return period, and its measures are designed to withstand wind speeds up to 25 kilometers per hour. Alam naman natin, sa ibang mga lugar, lumalagpas doon. Ngayon, Mr. President, maybe what we can do, Mr. President, because di ba pagka may flood control project, iba-iba eh. Merong sinasabi dredging, yung iba naman naglalagay ng seawall, kung mga ganyan-ganyan. At the proper time, may we ask Senator Villanueva if DPWH can give a detailed description of those projects in Bicol in particular, kasi nga sila yung apektado eh. Kasi baka naman completed pero puro dredging, halimbawa, ay syempre babalik at babalik rin yun.
I'm glad that the distinguished sponsor recognized the somehow band-aid solutions that some politicians are trying to implement, and that's the reason why we are so dead serious in looking for the right solutions. In fact, Mr. President, every time we ask these questions, I'm glad that the good sponsor did not even make that answer kasi climate change. Kasi, which, you know, is a valid point, no? Dahil itong nakarampong bagyo, sabi nila, 2 months worth of rainfall yung naranasan natin in the past 24 hours. But if that is also the way we always answer the question as to why this is happening despite all the planning, despite all the feasibility study, yun din yung magiging sagot din natin, no? Tanong na, where did all the planning go? What happened to the feasibility studies? And that brings me to my point, Mr. President. When I was here in the Senate, I remember asking for the feasibility studies, to have a feasibility study in my beloved province in Bulacan. And I waited, Mr. President, for almost 3 years, 2.5 years, Mr. President. In fact, we even funded the feasibility study. When the feasibility study came into the picture, hindi na po nila ma-implement at sabi, and I even asked and consulted the secretary, and the secretary were saying, actually, yung feasibility study hindi na tugma doon sa mga nangyayari ngayon, Mr. President. And that's why, Mr. President, yun yung point ko, Mr. President, no? Given that even the NASA describes this overlapping cyclones as unusual or an odd phenomenon with 6 storms impacting our beloved country in just 1 month, Mr. President. We wanted to find out ano yung mga adjustments na pwede nating gawin sa ngayon. Because again, we're not pointing fingers here. Here in the Senate, we always look for solutions. We wanted to make sure that the funds that we're going to give in to our beloved Department of Public Works and Highways, will be used properly, will be placed in an item where our people would expect something good is going to happen with those funds, Mr. President.
Mr. President, as mentioned by our colleague, this is a problem that occurs yearly, lalong-lalo na pag dumadami yung mga bagyo. Ngayon, mabuti naman at humingi din tayo ng payo mula sa mas na pagkakatiwalaan ng mga organisasyon, halimbawa. So, DPWH targets flood control interventions now based on the JICA study on flood risk management, which identifies 421 principal rivers as priorities. For community flooding, prioritization is guided by assessments and reports from district and regional offices focusing on the most vulnerable areas. So, sa ngayon, meron na rin tayo actually mga joint foreign assisted projects for flood control. Pero yung anticipated results na yan, flood control projects aim to improve drainage capacity. Yun nga yung mga sinasabi natin, di ba, nagpapagawa ng karsada, wala naman walang drainage.
Nagpapagawa po ng tulay pero wala palang ilog.
Oo.
Nangyari po yun, Mr. President.
Walang,
Mr. President, with the permission of the sponsor and the gentleman from Bulacan, may I be recognized, Mr. President? Yes. Just an interjection, 30 seconds lang po.
Senator should be
Yeah,
correct.
because in the social media po, Mr. President, and I think the good sponsor will hear me out, Mr. Secretary, maraming nakikitang project dahil sa baha, walang nagigiba, walang bakal, walang kabilya. Di ba? Sana naman ma-blacklist na yung mga yan. I'm not citing anyone, pero sana po ma-blacklist na siya. Once and for all, yung mga makita ninyo na dike, pag sira ng dike, walang bakal. Yung sinabi ni Secretary Enrile, sabi ni Secretary, in his 100 years of his life in this earth, it is only now that he has seen that these projects fall apart without any steel, kabilya or anything. So pati siya nagulat. So yun lamang po, baka pwede na lang siguro hindi kasalanan ng DPWH, kasalanan ng contractor yun. Because they award the project to the contractor. So pwede sana ma-blacklist na mga yan, Your Honors. Maraming salamat po.
Mr. President, meron naman daw silang listahan ng mga blacklisted na kumpanya. If the gentleman would like to have a copy of that, I think it's good for the Senate to also be aware of who those are. So at the proper time, may we ask that as a submission of the DPWH?
If I may, Mr. President, and I agree with Senator Zubiri, I think it's also in the responsibility of the department to make sure that the projects are awarded to trustworthy contractors. Mr. President, I don't want to belabor the issue here. And again, I'm only looking for solutions. If I may just suggest, Mr. President, if we can have the department give us their views on this particular issue. If they have, for instance, using science, even AI, in utilizing their planning, Mr. President, yung UP Resilience Institute, nandyan din po, no? Yung UP NOAA, yung nationwide operational assessment of hazards. Because there was a time I had an encounter with some of these individuals, part of this group. They were saying that they were not even consulted by DPWH despite having flood modeling components and hazard map. So yun lang po, siguro hingi na lang po ako ng kopya kung paano din tayong makakatulong, Mr. President, because we wanted to assess and find out ano ba yung magagandang solutions, no, na po pwede nating magawa. And then I remember, Mr. President, when the President signed the EBET law, the Enterprise-Based and Enterprise-Based Education and Training Act. The President even told me, Mr. President, distinguished colleague, that right now there is already a master plan, because before we don't have a master plan. I think he is talking about the Bicol River Basin. If I'm not correct, may I just confirm, Mr. President, if this is in the affirmative, that there's already a master plan now?
Mr. President, the master plan for the 18 major river basins have been developed and are currently in various stages of implementation. Each master plan is tailored to specific characteristics and needs of that respective river basin. So there are regular monitoring and updates to these plans to ensure, like for example, in Bicol River Basin Flood Control Project, the indicative project cost is 43.21 billion. So the structural measures, nandito yung diking system, bridges with 5 gates, culverts with control gates. These are very technical.
Thank you.
So we can also give you a copy,
Yes,
but
thank you.
that's
Thank
how
you,
much
Mr.
it is.
President, because I just wanted this to be confirmed, because right now, it is confirmed that the master plan and feasibility study were completed in July of 2024. Ito yung sa Bicol River Basin. Magandang balita po ito sa ating mga kababayan sa Bicol. And if I'm not mistaken, next year, the detailed engineering design will start, while civil works will begin in March 2027. May we know if the chair can confirm this, Mr. President?
Yes,
Thank
the
you.
DPWH.
Thank you, Mr.
confirmed.
President. I appreciate it, Mr. President. One last issue that I'd like to raise, Mr. President, is the issue of commitment fees, Mr. President. During the budget of the DOTR, we found out, Mr. President, and in the budget of the economic team, we discovered that there is this 6.72 billion pesos cumulative commitment fees being paid by the government from 2002 to 2024 of August. Can you imagine, Mr. President, 6.72 billion pesos na sinayang ho natin, tinapon natin sa basurahan habang ang mga Pilipino ay naghihirap. And I'm not trying to point fingers to anyone here, Mr. President, because I'm only talking about commitment fees. Commitment fees, ito po yung charge being imposed by multilateral lenders on the Philippines for undrawn scheduled availment of a certain loan. So ibig sabihin, Mr. President, ito yung isang bagay na pwede nating kontrolin. Pwede nating makontrol to, hindi kagaya ng mga interest rates. Pagka inaprubahan na yung utang, yan na, may metro na. Itong commitment fees, makukontrol natin ito kung maayos na pagpaplano, kung ito talaga ay inayos natin bago tayo pumasok doon sa utang. So Mr. President, as we support the administration's vision of sustained strategic and on-schedule infrastructure that will address the needs of current and future generations, Mr. President, may we know the total loan amount and the status, ito pong mga combined loans and grants, ito pong mga ODAs. No? Siguro, anihin na lang po natin yung, kasi ang dami ho nito na data na pumapasok sa isip ko, kaya gusto ko sana mabilis. Pero Mr. President, may we know yung loan amount na lang and status nitong proyekto. How many of these loans are still active, Mr. President? If I'm not mistaken, 24 ho. Please correct me if I'm wrong with my figures that there are 24 ODA-funded projects. I just wanted to find out, of the 24, how many are flood control projects, Mr. President?
Mr. President, for flood control among the foreign assisted projects, we have the Pampanga, the flood, we have the low-lying disaster risk. Okay, among the several foreign assisted projects completed on time, sama-sama na to, merong Samar Pacific Coastal Road Project Phase 1, financed by the Korean government, the Integrated Disaster Risk Reduction Climate, which targets low-lying areas in Pampanga, the Flood Risk Management Project in Cagayan de Oro, which was funded by the Japanese government, and the Arterial Road Bypass Project Phase 3, also by the Japanese government. There are 12 ongoing foreign-assisted projects that are now being implemented by the DPWH. Most of these were projects that were renegotiated in the previous administrations. There are also 11 big projects that are under pre-construction stage and another 14 under the proposal stage.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I just confirm with the good sponsor if there are indeed 24 loan projects amounting to the net commitment is 319 billion and the actual disbursement in 2023 is 16.48 billion. The actual availment as of December 2023, if we can flash it in the screen right now, because I'm just interested, Mr. President. If you look at the 24 ODA-funded projects, ang nakalagay po sa report, iisa lamang ang kumpleto. Isa lang ho yung kumpleto. Ang on schedule ay 5, ang behind schedule ay 17, with incomplete outputs, 1, so a total of 24. I just wanted to confirm these figures I'm flashing on the screen right now, Mr. President. If these are correct figures, Mr. President. Is that correct?
The ODA projects, but is this just with DPWH?
Yes.
Okay, so there are 24
Yes, Mr.
total.
President. So 24 total. Is this correct and accurate, Mr. President? It's not. Ito po'y galing sa NEDA at ito po yung ODA 2023 portfolio review, Mr. President.
If it comes from NEDA, then they confirm it's correct. But they
Okay.
don't have the total commitment fees.
Yeah, I'm about to look into it, Mr. President. And then let me show you the active loans and talk about flood control. Because out of the 24 ODA-funded projects, there are 6 flood control projects. 6 po dito, yung binanggit po kanina ng ating Madam Chair, yung sa CDO River, yung sa lying areas of Pampanga, yung po yung sa Korea. Ayan po, pakita po natin. Ang total po is 57.83 billion pesos, Mr. President. Now, Mr. President, kanina po, binanggit ko during the budget ng DOTR, yung commitment fees, isa ho sila sa pinakamalaki, no? Ang DPWH din po ay may mga ganito rin pong proyekto. May we know, Mr. President, of the total 24 projects with active loans, nakalagay nga po 17 are behind the schedule. May we know, Mr. President, kung meron tayong idea how much commitment fees ang pinayad na po natin, Mr. President? Because of delay, because of transactional losses for the government, Mr. President?
Mr. President, I cannot really give this is just based on our own research. This is not from the DPWH
Yes.
because they're not privy to the commitment fees. But for so far,
So ito, pwede kong pakita lang ito.
Mr. President, from the DPWH total, the total from 2002 until 2024 is 1,634,959,000. So yung 6 billion na nabanggit ng ating kasama from Bulacan, yun yung total na mga commitment fees.
So, out of the
23
6.7, 1 billion po doon at least galing sa
1.6,
DPWH.
24%
Yeah.
DPWH.
Mr. President, may I show you another slide? This is the slide that we prepared, Mr. President, with the ODA loans with commitment fees. If we can look into this, Mr. President. For example, itong Metro Manila Management Project, ang total commitment fees paid as of December 2023 is 327 million. At pag inad nyo po ito, Ginoong Pangulo, mag-a-amount po ito sa 943.66 million. And then siguro yung cumulative dun sa pinanggalingan pa before, kaya po naging 1 billion. Would you confirm, Mr. President, ito po yung binayaran natin itong December of 2023? Kasi ang binanggit nyo kanina, ang total is 1 billion. So this is probably the same figures, Mr. President.
Mr. President, they cannot commit right now if they cannot verify, but if with that submission, we can ask them
Yeah.
to verify.
Thank you, Mr. President. And again, I don't want to belabor the issue except that we wanted to point out, Mr. President, once and for all, not only for the Department of Public Works and Highways, in all the departments of the government, to look into this because commitment fees makokontrol natin eh. Yung interest fees, interest rates, hindi natin makokontrol pero commitment fees, planning po yan eh. So bakit tayo papasok sa isang loan, utang, na hindi ko tayo handa? Sawang-sawa na tayo na failure of bidding or ROW, etc. Di ba? Napakasakit ho isipin that at this point in time, we are paying 6.72 billion pesos. Tinapon ho natin for nothing. And it could have created or established 2,680 classrooms, 672,000 scholars from TESDA. So, yun lang po yung sa akin, Mr. President. I hope na ang DPWH would be more circumspect at mas maging handa sa mga pagpaplano nila. At ito yung nire-remind natin sa lahat ng ahensya ng pamahalaan. Ginoong Pangulo, let me just make a manifestation on some of the points I'd like to raise. Sana, for example, Mr. President, yung mga big ticket items, kasi tinignan ko po yung mga big ticket items, parang we are investing more on small items. Mr. President, I look at the budget for the past 3 years, we spent over 500 billion pesos for the flood control program, but we only allocated around 25 billion for the FAPs. For fiscal year 2024, yung mga foreign assisted projects po are in the program. In the last 3 years, we have only allocated 3.8 billion in the programmed appropriation for the foreign assisted project. Sana po makita po natin to, matignan natin kasi pag sinasabi natin flood control, ang laki ng budget, 1.44 billion nga po a day sa buong ahensya ng pamahalaan. Pero kung titignan naman natin yung mga big ticket items, hindi dito napupunta. In fact, I spoke with the secretary, he told me, oo nga, yung big ticket items, yun ang gusto din namin mapondohan, but they don't have any control about it. In fact, nung nilabas yung unprogram, ang nilabas yung maliliit, hindi pa rin yung malalaki. So, again, Mr. President, I just want to put that on record. And last but not the least, Mr. President, hindi na po ako magsushow ng video dahil na-show ko na yung video dito sa plenaryo for so many times, yung pong nangyayari sa amin dun sa Bulacan, I actually commend DPWH kasi gawa sila ng road sa amin doon sa MacArthur Highway. Pero ang problema nga po, araw-araw din sinisira nung mga overloaded trucks. And in fact, I remember, naglagay din po tayo ng pondo doon sa DPWH para maglagay ng weighing scale doon po sa bandang Giginto, Bulacan. If I'm not mistaken, we allocated 29 million for that particular project. Pero ang problema, hindi naman po kumikilos ang LTO, hindi rin kumikilos ang ating kapulisan. Siguro yung isang tanong lang, Mr. President, yung mga taga-DPWH po ba pwedeng i-deputize din ng LTO para manghuli dito sa mga overloaded trucks?
No, Mr. President, I think that's best taken up with the PNP.
Yeah.
Also, I think that was brought up before, but it's certainly really frustrating kasi, you know, roads, tayo nga yung may pinaka-permissive in terms of the load, I mean, pagdating sa axle, di ba? Sa ibang bansa, nasa 9 to 10 lang, tayo pumapayag ng 13. And yet, they're still exceeding that. So naturally, if the lifespan of a road's 20 years, hindi talaga aabot doon. So yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. I just hope that our discussion today at 2:43 a.m. will not go in vain. The only reason why we are interested and very passionate about this is because we wanted to ensure that we'll be able to come up with the right solutions in addressing our perennial problem of flooding and infrastructure projects. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Pangulo. Maraming salamat, dear colleague. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, next to interpolate our sponsor is Senator Alan Cayetano. I move that he be recognized.
We recognize the gentleman from Taguig Pateros, Senator Alan Cayetano.
Morning, Mr.
Morning.
President, Presiding Officer, colleagues, Madam Chair, and of course the DPWH family, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. 4 topics, I'll try to go as fast as I can. The first topic is loans and consultation. I brought this up during our hearing last year sa economic team that we can only spend money that is appropriated. That is what is in the Constitution. However, there is no law prohibiting the executive from borrowing money. And then when we ask this question from previous administrations adopted by this administration is that where is the legislative authority to release the money, to pay for it? Pinapasok na lang daw sa GAA. Eh dati, wala naman mga mediation clause or penalties. So for example, if the DPWH borrows 10 billion for Bulacan and Congress doesn't like it, by the time na nasa GAA, nagastos na yung pera. So after 1 year na may grace period, tapos ginagawa na, doon lang malalagay sa GAA. So the point I'd like to make, Madam Chair, is that will the department be extra careful in consultation especially with the local government and Congress, dun sa mga inuutang nila para hindi tayo magka-problema mamaya.
Mr. President, from my understanding, especially if we have to borrow for a big ticket item or any loan in particular with the funded DPWH project, it has to be approved by NEDA. Now, NEDA is composed of so many different departments, headed by, of course, the department secretary, but the Department of Finance, the Office of the President, etc. So, the DPWH, if I understand also the point of view of our colleague from Taguig, is that DPWH take an active role in advising the, let's say, the NEDA board after proper consultation with those that will be affected, like the local government, kasi the stakeholders. Kasi tama din naman yung concern natin na sa NEDA board, very macro. Pero pag hindi naman kinonsult yung mga nandun sa baba, kahit ang puro technical lang, pero baka yung application palpak.
I agree with that statement, Madam Chair, yung sa macro, sa micro, but even sa macro kasi ang nagsasubmit sa NEDA, yung department. I'll give you example. Halimbawa, this was the pandemic and DOH believe in, anong pangalan nun, ivermectin, di ba? And wanted to buy 10 billion worth of that medicine. And all the sciences was hazy, walang naniniwala doon, and Congress disapproves it. Do we mean to say that all DOH has to do is to bring it to NEDA, mag-agree sila, utangin nila, tapos magulat na lang tayo 3 years later na kailangan natin magbayad ng 10 billion kasi inapprove. So again, this is not just for the DPWH. I'm just making it a case in point because I do have a, I'll be very honest, Secretary, because I trust, I honor you, kilala kita, but I have a little bit of a trust issue with you right now. Because last year, we had the coffee date. At sabi ko sa iyo, Secretary, magpupuyat ba tayo and isa-isahin ko pa ba to sa budget hearing o mag-uusap na lang tayo? Sabi mo, ano concern nyo, Senator? Sabi ko, yung Laguna Lakeshore Highway, during the time of Pinoy, PPP yan. During the time of Pinoy, kami ay kinonsulta sa Senado, kinonsulta ang local government, kinonsulta congressman, hindi nyo kami kinonsulta. You said you will go to my office. I said, no, sir. We will all go to your office. January, pumunta sa iyo si dating Deputy Speaker Rani Abu, who's my Chief of Staff sa CA and agreed to help me for a time being. Pagpunta niya sa iyo, sabi mo, Rani, hindi tuloy ang project. Nag-hearing tayo last month, tinanong ko kayo. Sabi mo, ay gusto kasi ni Presidente kaya tuloy. Sabi ko sa iyo, Secretary, hindi ma-approvehan ni Presidente yan na wala kayong memo to the President na hindi nyo tinulak. Ang Presidente kahit may gusto, magpapa-complete staff work yon. So umabot na tayo today, wala pa rin ako naririnig sa inyo. So pasensya na po tayong lahat, I have to ask these questions. So did you consult the City of Calamba about this project?
Apparently, Mr. President, the City of Calamba was actually, the representatives were consulted.
Okay.
But of course, that's just what they
No, no,
tell us now.
That's okay. I'll take their answer face value. Did you consult, ano pa bang dadaanan? Dadaanan ba San Pedro?
All the LGUs that will
Oh,
be
so hindi ko na isa-isa.
part of that route was
Okay.
consulted.
So kung kinonsulta nyo lahat, bakit hindi nyo kinonsulta ang Taguig? 8 kilometers ang dadaanan sa Taguig, sisirain yung buong view ng lakeshore ng Taguig.
Mr. President, supposedly, there were meetings conducted by DPWH. The City of Taguig was represented and led by Engineer Eric Castro, Ms. Lou Ancheto, Engineer Jericho Arsenio Flores, and Engineer Jerome San Pedro,
Madam
etc.,
Chair,
etc.
They sent me a letter stating that.
Mm-mm.
But yung aking ang coffee date with the secretary sa Sofitel, I told him that, Mr. Secretary, ang consultation, tatanungin nyo sila sa project. Tatanungin nyo, maganda, ano. Hindi yung sasabihin nyo, eto plano, ano comment nyo. So sinabi ko na, sinumbong ko na sa inyo, Mr. Secretary, na ang ginawa ng mga tao nyo, nag-appointment, nagtambak ng pera, ng dokumento, pero hindi tunay na consultation. So let me ask you this. Saan maglalanding yung Laguna Lake Highway sa Taguig? Saan kayo mag-e-exit? Sa Bikutan, tama ba? Sa Bikutan ba kayo mag-e-exit? Oh. Yes or
Mr.
no? Para
President, they're
mabilis tayo.
conferring with each other right now. Mr. President, supposedly sa Lower Bikutan.
Yes, papunta dun sa General Santos Avenue, tama ba?
Yes, Mr. President.
Okay. Wag na natin yung kahabaan ng General Santos Avenue, ha? Yung lang intersection ng ML Quezon at General Santos, less than 1 kilometer. Ilan minutes na traffic sa ngayon? Alam nyo ba? Doon ako nakatira, kaya alam ko. At sinabi ko kay Secretary. Oh. It's 30 minutes for less than 1 kilometer. Hindi pa todo rush hour yun. Kaya sabi ko kay Secretary, Secretary, may problema tayo doon. Baka kailangan yung maglagay ng flyover. Eto problema. Ang DOST, hindi basta pumapayag sa flyover kasi may mga equipment sila doon na pag nag-shake, naapektuhan. Kaya hindi sila pumayag sa subway. So paano nyo ngayon sasabihin sa Koreano at saka sa ADB na okay plano nyo, okay consultation nyo, gagawin yung 2 oras traffic namin, lipat nyo opisina nyo doon, kayo tumira doon. Gagawa kayo ng highway, sasabihin nyo sa lahat ng taga Laguna, 15 minutes, 30 minutes na lang. Eh hindi nga makakatawid ng kali ngayon ng 20 minutos eh. O anong original plan nyo dyan? Hindi ba 4 lane lang yan? Sa panahon ni Secretary Villar, pinakiusapan ko siya. Huwag niyong ituloy yung isa niyong rota. Bakit? Ilan libong ancestral house ang gigibain niyo sana? 1,600. So nilipat niyo sa General Santos. Ginawa niyong 6 to 8 lanes. Despite that, traffic pa rin ngayon. So aanhin natin ang highway dyan. Ilan lanes yung highway?
Mr. President, I think this is a very detailed consideration. No, but I would like, and also to help our colleague, I would rather that the representative from DPWH answer it directly. So I would like to request that we suspend.
Mr.
Madam
President,
Secretary, may I?
may we ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
Thank you.
Session suspended.